Alright, to begin with, let's set our BPM to 100 and grab a guitar preset from Omnisphere. Let's lay down this simple pattern, and this is how I want you to visualize the pattern, as chords and notes put together. But when you spread same chord out with different voicing, try experimenting different voicings to get this unique sound that is heavenly to one's hearing. Play around with the velocities. In here you will notice the volume of the notes are ascending. It starts off smooth and hits off hard at the last note, giving it some dynamics. For insert effect, we have RC20, and preset selected is the magnitude transition 1. What to look out for is the type of distortion, because each type has a unique way of adding harmonic color to the sample. And then you can change the settings of the reverb and then EQ to your liking. Next up is a counter guitar melody that plays this pattern. To make it more audible, you may have to pitch it up or down an octave and perhaps pan for stereo effect. Some common mistake I used to do was panning same instrument both sides, thinking I've achieved the stereo effect, but it always sounded muddy, and I'll be like, why do they always sound like it's coming straight to the center? Then I read about big mono and realized when similar instruments are panned hard left and right, it robs the mix of its depth. For effect, it's the wave pitch shifter and a quarter note delay, but you can render the pattern as wave far and pitch it up an octave or down an octave. You still get a similar effect. We can now add the typical Afrobeat rimshot bounce now that the melody is taking its shape. Let's give it a tropical vibe by adding a marimba. Effect is delay and then an alvos to push the sound to cut through the mix. It was way too quiet. Next up, adding part from Pigment. Preset used is Free Fall. So putting together all this pattern we've played so far, here's what we have. This will be the intro to the song. Now let's figure out sounds that will make up the verse, chorus, bridge, and an outro if there is room for one. Electric piano from Purity sounding like this. Funky bass from Purity again with this pattern. And then a custom bass from Serum sounding like this. This will be a random sound that's run through a certain part of the mix. Vocal sample from Arcade. Make sure it's locked to the key of the song. Throw in some reverb. That will be all for the melody for now. Let's finish up the drums. Typical Afrobeat rimshot bounce. Then the kick comes in. conga. Adding some more percussions. Lastly, shaker. Putting everything together, this is what we have for the verse 2. For drum fills and transition, there you go. For the chorus, let's do flute. On the master bass, we have a saturation. It does a decent job on the picking percussions. It kind of wraps around the kick and gives it some analog sounding vibe when it hits. And then finally a limiter. So here's the full beat.